Kelly, let me ask you something.
Yeah?
Did you ever have one of those days where the sunlight is just beaming right in your eyeballs and you can't just go back to sleep? You got those extra hours of sleep. You don't have to be up for work yet, but you can't go back to sleep. Or you got a glare on your TV because you're trying to watch the big game and you just can't?
Every day.
Right? Well, guess what, my friend? You can rest easy because Magruder Window Coverings has your back. They've been helping families transform their homes for over 50 years. They're a family-owned business that specializes in custom blinds, shutters, shades, draperies, tailored to your style and your space. From classic elegance to modern comfort. They combine expert design, quality products, and personalized service that you can trust. I like people that I can trust. Magruder Window Coverings, where custom meets family tradition.
And
sing.
Wait, do it again. 3, now.
2, 1, go. Check.
What's up, everybody? It's BC Villanova born on a morning on October. It's podcast time. Today in the studio, my guest is Bruce Fagan again.
Once again.
He's back again already, y'all. It's just too good. We had to do another one right back to back.
This might be a back-to-back thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
just have you like every
It's
other
like
time.
BC Villanova Radio and Bruce.
And Bruce.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. No, it's great. Well, I loved having you. I mean, that's the thing. We do this all the time anyway, so
Yeah, I
might as
know.
well just, yeah.
It's either here in the studio or on the back porch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just back porch talks.
Might as well bring a lot more people into the fold on
Yeah.
listening to us rant and rave and talk
love
about
it.
God knows what. Yeah.
I know it, yeah. Real quick before we get into it, if you don't mind,
Yep.
I want to say something. Not to be a downer here, but we had a good friend that passed away, Ebony Fleming, and she was a classmate of mine. She died of cancer, and I think she was only like 45, so super young, but just a beautiful girl, a bright spirit, an awesome person, an awesome soul. I think I went to like kindergarten through high school with her, just had some different classes with her, and I think it was like drama class, like high school, probably like 11th grade. You had already graduated because I had like economics class with you in 10th grade, and then that was when we reconnected. And then I think you left for the military, and then, I had a like 11th grade drama class with Ebony Fleming. And just immediate kinship with her because we were just like, kind of shy, but you put us on the stage and it was just like, where you just go out, man. That's like where we're at. And she was just genius at it. We would do skits together, and like we did this skit where like I was her, the white boyfriend comes home to the black family, and we had this like whole thing, and it was hilarious, and we had the whole class laughing. And shout out to Ebony, and Kadada Hip was in that with us, and she was just a beautiful soul, man. Like I used to go to her house and we'd like play piano and sing together. We did a bunch of just like Prince songs together. We did that song "Nothing Compares to You." It's like Sinead O'Connor made it bigger, but like me and Ebony used to do it. And Ebony, she could sing, and her mom, Constance Fleming, shout out to her. She was like the choir director for Lexington for a long time, and maybe still does. I don't know, but Ebony was a sweet soul. But a quick story. Because Todd Limehouse called me the other day and was like, yeah, man, Ebony's not doing too good. She's going to hospice, and she's got like 2 days to live or something like that. So I was like, well, I'm going to go see her. I appreciate you calling me. So I was thinking about Ebony, and one of the things that makes me love her so much is like she's kind of a nerd. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have an affinity for just nerds, and like I feel like nerds and dorks rule the world, and I just love the dork and nerd person. If I feel like you're a little nerdy, like I'm like, man, we can hang out. This is awesome. And Ebony was that way because I went to her house one time. We were playing piano and getting ready for like some show because she was going to sing with me, and I saw in her bedroom she had like New Kids on the Block posters. You know what I mean? And like maybe a Belle Biv DeVoe poster, but like definitely Backstreet Boys. And I was like, okay, it's like, you're a fan of the boy bands there. So I was like kind of picking on her about it. But so fast forward to when I got the call from Todd that she wasn't doing too good and she was on hospice. I was hanging out around the St. Andrews area, and I was like, man, I need to go get her some flowers and go see her. But I was like, well, like everybody's going to bring her flowers. Like, what else can I do? And I was remembering that one of my students, Lawson Taylor, shout out to LT Toys, he's got his own toy store. And the last time I was in there with my 7-year-old, we were looking at like anime stuff, and I just happened to see these like New Kids on the Block dolls.
Oh, nice.
So I got Ebony these 2 different New Kids on the Block dolls. It's like Donnie and Jordan.
Awesome.
And I went by the other day and I got them, and I was like going to her house in Lexington, you know, and I called my wife. She's like, "You going to see Ebony? Did you hear?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I got her these New Kids on the Block dolls." She's like, "You did what?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "She'll love him. Trust me." Like, I got her some New Kids. She's like, "Babe, you don't know what kind of condition she's in. Like that, I don't know if that's appropriate. Like New Kids on the Block dolls." I'm like, "Well, I mean, I didn't really think about it. Like, she loves this kind of stuff. I used to make fun of her about it. It's gonna be great. Trust me." My wife's like, "Babe, you don't know. I don't know about that. Like, that might not be the best thing. You don't even know if she's gonna be awake or whatever." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, then I started kind of like second guessing myself. You know what I mean? But I went to her house and I saw her mom out on the porch, and I talked to her, and I like kind of carried the bag in, the gift that I gave her, like a little bit kind of reluctantly, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on, Miss Constance? Is Ebony here?" She's like, "Yeah, go on in, sweetie, go talk to her." And I went and I was like, "What's up, Ebony?" Like, and dude, she's just like so skinny, man. Yeah. Like, you know, you can tell that it's her, and it's her same beautiful self and her beautiful soul, but she's just gaunt and like just skeletal at this point, man. Yeah. She's really sick, you know. But the funny thing is, when I walked in, I looked up, and she had this whole wall of like holiday Barbies. And like, nice. It was all the black holiday Barbies that she had like framed still in the package. And I was like, all right, I made the right call. Yeah. And I gave her a big hug. And like, we talked for a little while, and she was like, "What's up, man?" And you know, she kind of had a raspy voice and was having a little bit tough time talking. And I was like, "Hey, I got you something." And I was like, you know, one of my students owns a toy store, so I want to, you know, I was thinking about you, and I got you these. She's like, "What?" Like her mouth's like this, dude. Like, "No way, dude." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Did you like Jordan or Donnie?" She's like, "Oh man, Jordan was my man." Yeah, like she loved Jordan, or was it Donnie? I think it was Donnie. Probably was Donnie. Ebony Fleming's dude. Yeah. So, but she loved it. So my wife was wrong again. I'm just kidding. But you know, but it was just a beautiful thing. Hopefully it reminded her of her childhood and like better days. And like, she was like, "No way. Like, where did you get these?" I was like, "Yeah, my student owns a toy store, you know?" And so that was really cool, man. And then I sat and we played piano, and she could barely sing, but we did like a little Amazing Grace and a couple things, man. So I got to give her a big hug and tell her I love her, and told her to stay encouraged. And so anyway, just wanted to tell that story, and shout out to the Fleming family and anybody that loved Ebony Fleming, because she was a great one. She was an awesome person. So
she was, man.
Yeah,
always a sweet person, 100%. Yeah, she was always, I mean, like the sweetest person I ever met, dude. And like you said, man, just she was one of us. You know what I mean? 100%.
She's just outgoing and nerdy and just all about fun, and you
always
know what I mean.
Always at a Connor Brothers show, man.
Yeah,
just support, man, hanging out. So yeah.
Oh, you know what too? I thought about this. Because you went in the Marine Corps, and then like I was palling around a little bit. Me and my brother formed like an acoustic duo, and we would play at O'Charlie's in Lexington, because I also doubled there as a waiter. I like waited tables at O'Charlie's.
As soon as you clocked out, you were like grabbing the acoustic up.
Yeah, pretty much. But I got the earliest gigs of me and my brother's acoustic duo. We were called the Connor Brothers. Yeah. Original name, Brian Connor, Chris Connor. What's our band name? Let's call it the Connor Brothers.
Hey, literally the best days of my life.
I know. It was so fun, man.
So good.
But that's what I remember seeing you, like shaved head. I don't know if you were like out of the Marine Corps yet.
I was out of the Marine Corps, but like an idiot. I still got like a luscious head of hair at 47, dude. But I shaved my head for like 10 years after the Corps. And then I finally started growing it. And I didn't have a beard either, dude. Just started like, my head was like getting smaller. My chin was getting bigger. And I was just like receding into my own neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started disappearing into my own chin. Like if you look at my 18-year-old like Marine Corps, my senior picture and then Marine Corps picture, I had this like kind of nice featured chiseled chin. Looks really good, dude. It's like kind of like almost Italian look, you know. It had a natural tan, man. I guess I made a little Cherokee back in the day.
You've always got a good tan.
A little tan, man. I tan once a year, dude, and it'll last until like the next summer, you know.
You're lucky in that way.
But I would just, a little bit of the, I don't know, you tan up, I don't know, you burn up, crisp up pretty good, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the super Irishness, but it's okay, you know.
I thought I was Irish because Fagan is Irish, right?
Right.
And then I did like like an idiot did the DNA thing for like 21, or is it 23 and Me or something?
Where
you
are
know?
you from? Where are you from?
I'm like Scandinavian, dude.
Okay.
Like 90% Viking, which is cool
dude,
shit, right?
that's awesome.
All right,
What are you talking
awesome.
about?
Right, cool. Zero Irish, you know what I mean? Like a touch of Cherokee.
Yeah.
A little English, maybe a little Scotch Irish, something.
Yeah.
All Scandinavian, dude, which is weird because it was.
Well, I always had that fear, and like, you know, speaking of Ebony, I was kind of thinking, I was like, dude, maybe I should marry a black girl, like, or at least like a Latin girl or something, because I'm so freaking white, dude. I got to give my kids a chance at melanin. Like, they need to have like some kind of color to them whatsoever. But of course, it didn't work. I fell in love with my high school sweetheart, and she's a white girl. But then again, my wife, like, I don't know, man. Maybe she's got some exoticness to her. I don't know her whole like.
We're all blendable.
We're all something,
dude.
man. But
We've
yeah,
all got a little something with a little melanin in it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's all good.
It's
We're all the same.
just that gene you got that like.
Yeah.
You're just
I
kinda
know.
a little
Wait,
more
my
pale.
sister can tan. Like,
Yeah.
she'll go to the beach and have a tan. I'm like, what the fuck?
I feel like Chris could tan pretty good too. Man.
He could. Yeah,
Yeah,
he could.
maybe you and him were a little fair. I don't know,
I'm the
Derek's a little
whitest. I'm the
fair-skinned.
fairest
You're the
one,
whitest,
but yeah, out of the
them all.
four. Yeah, I was the fairest of them all.
Yeah.
I think my brother Derek gets kind of red in the sun. And
Yeah.
Chris could tan. And like, did I say Chris could tan? No,
Chris could
Chris could tan.
It's already going off the rails.
I know. What are we doing? But going back to Charlie's, the acoustic days, Ebony would sing with me and my brother Chris,
Yeah, I
and
remember that, yeah.
Mike T. Shout out to Mike T. Would play a
playing the
little,
bongos,
like
congas.
I think cajon,
Cajon.
or maybe congas, because I
Yeah.
don't know if we had a cajon in those days. The
No,
cajon
it
is
was
like
the-
later in the
yeah,
year.
yeah.
So, but I remember seeing you. I'm like, is that Bruce? Like shaved head, like at
Sitting
our
at a
show,
table.
hanging at the bar. And I was like,
Trying to weasel my way back into the
Dude,
crew.
I know. I
That was good.
immediately reconnected with you. I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, it's been 4 fucking years,
know.
man. Like, you know.
I could never catch up with you. Every time I come home for leave, man, I didn't have your. This is before cell phones, and you know I might have a phone, like maybe try and find a phone book, call your mom. I didn't even know her like remarried last name. You know,
Wow,
like,
phone books.
phone books.
That's
the yellow
another
pages, dude.
Wow.
It's the thing my granddad still gets delivered to his house. Like,
Yeah.
He's got 300 yellow pages just in the backyard. I'm like, all right, we got to get rid of these things at some point. But no, I remember like literally the first Connor Brothers show was at O'Charlie's in Lexington, dude, and I'm there with, you know, whoever I'm hanging out with at the time, and I'm just like, oh, thank God, Brian Connor, like reconnecting with you, because I was like hanging out with some total douchebags for a while. You know, you get out of the Corps, man, you leave all these dudes that you've been with for 4 years, and then you come home trying to readjust to civilian life. So you're just like, I don't even know who the fuck to hang out with anymore. Like, oh, nobody has the same phone number anymore, you know? And then it's like, I see you out one time at O'Charlie's, I'm like, Brian, you're like, dude, you're out there. And I think we might have hung out once or twice during the Corps, you know, when I was in. Maybe I'd come home and leave, and we, you know, managed to hook up at some point, like jumping off the Devil's Backbone at Lake Murray or something.
Oh,
you know what
nice,
I mean?
man. Yeah.
Doing a backflip. And I had to, like, put on the show because I was a Marine. And you're still, like, in high school. You're like, this guy's crazy, you know? And, like, check and do a backflip, like, hurt my, like, lower lumbar or something. You
Okay,
know?
for anybody that doesn't know, and you're in South Carolina in the Gilbert area, there's a road called Devil's Backbone Road, like going from kind of Lexington towards Gilbert. I think it's on 378.
378, the bridge over the...
There's a bridge that goes over the lake, dude. It's got to be about 15, 20 feet from the bridge to the lake. Maybe it just seems that big.
Yeah, at our age, dude, everything's
it's
like...
probably like 8 feet. Yeah, it wasn't that far.
It wasn't terrible.
But you're kind of scared, like jumping off that thing into the water, man. But by the end of it, we were doing backflips into it. We were like totally fearless or whatever. But supposedly you always heard the urban legend of some kid like dove off of it, and there's an underwater stop sign, and he hit it and like split a skull.
Cleaved himself in half. You know what
Right,
I mean?
you
Like,
know?
they only found one half later.
Is that real?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like one half of them washed up on shore.
Yeah.
Apparently there's still the other half of them that haunts, but I don't know. I just made
Exactly.
that up.
Also, the Green Hole.
The Green Hole.
That was one off of Bush River. I don't know if you guys, the listeners, ever went to the Green Hole, but now that might have been, how high do you think that was? 15 feet.
So the Green Hole had like a series of jumps, right? Because there's an old rock quarry. And I guess the algae had turned the water green. So it was aptly named the Green Hole. But we would go out there during the summer. It'd be like me and you, Alex Buck.
Shout out to Alex Buck.
Shout out to Alex Buck, who was
the craziest motherfucker of all time.
Because the highest point was somebody's balcony. There was like an apartment complex that surrounded the Green Hole, right? And it was open to the public back then, man. We just go out there anytime. There was like no DHEC, like signs or gates or anything. It wasn't walled off or closed off. We go out there, and so first you start off at like the 5 to 6 foot jump, you know. There's a bunch of people hanging out. Everybody can jump off the 5 foot, 6 foot jump. Then you climb up to like a 12, 13 foot cliff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then that's where people are like, okay, now you're doing a backflip. That guy's got some stones. Then you get up to like maybe dude, it was like 20 feet up. And then Alex Buck's jumping off a balcony at like 35, 40. I mean, it was it was like 3 stories up, dude. Just backflip.
He did a backflip.
Backflip.
Yeah, he didn't care, man.
Did not care, man.
Yeah. There's a couple people in your childhood and your teenage years that you hung out with, and you still think about it. You're like, wow, dude, that guy was fucking fearless.
Yeah, fearless.
And I got a couple friends like that, and he was one of those guys, man.
Buck was definitely one of those guys that, what a character, man. Just would do a backflip off a 30-foot high balcony, or like I remember one time I just called him one time just messing around with him. I'm like, hey dude, I got some guys messing with me, man. I need your help, you know. And he's like, come pick me up, dude. They didn't ask any questions or anything. Like, no. I had pulled up to pick him up as he was living like some townhomes or something. Yeah. We're just gonna hang out, drink beer, whatever. I pull up and I'm like, hey man, these guys are fucking with me, bro. He's like, I'll be right back. Walks right back in his house, comes back out with a boot knife. All he had was a boot knife, but that's what he's gonna go to combat with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just didn't ask who are these guys? What's going on? I just said, dudes are messing with me. He's like, let's roll. Pack of smokes, turn one upside down, grab the boot knife. You know what I mean? Ready to rock. And I was like, dude, I'm just kidding with you, man. I was testing your loyalty, and you clearly passed the test 100%, man.
You just had your back, no questions asked.
No questions asked, dude.
You know, he saved my life when we were kids. Shout out to Alex Buck again, dude.
Again. This is going to be an Alex Buck episode.
I know, it's all about Alex Buck.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember. I think when I was in first grade, it was the first time I was ever on TV because it was the winter, and in Coventry Woods, my dad had the pool, you know, and it was frozen over. And I
solid too, man.
Yeah, and it was like that was in the I don't know, man. Like the 80s, was it just colder?
Back when the winters would get cold.
Is it global warming? I don't know what's going on.
It's global change. You know, it
global
changes.
Change.
The whole world was covered in ice. The whole world's been covered in lush jungles. It's changed. But anyway,
right.
Definitely colder back in the 80s.
It was colder in the 80s because it was like all snow. My like pool was frozen, and I was just kind of like, oh, cool. Look, the pool's frozen. Oh, God, splash. Oh God.
So were you? Did you go to
Alex? Help me, bro. Alex is like, Brian, give me your hand, because we're like 8 and doing my best 8-year-old impression. Brian, give me your hand. Yeah. He pulls me out, dude. I'm like, oh, thank you, bro. I love you, man. I gave him a hug. I was like, it's like when he starts laughing at that point. He's like, dude, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going inside. I got to talk to my sister. And then like Kelly was like, Brian, what happened? I'm like, I fell in the pool. Alex pulled me out. She's like, oh my God. So I'm calling Mom, get in the shower right now. And my sister Kelly like makes me this hot shower. And Alex Buck's just cracking up laughing, like, because that's the thing about a good friend. Like, once the true danger has passed, your friend just clowns you.
Yeah.
That's just how you do. Like, you just get clowned for stupidity.
Well, back in the day, we dealt with trauma a lot better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but so then my mom was like, I'm so glad you're safe, sweetie, and I'm going to call the news.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So the news, like, interviewed me and my friend Alex Buck, and we were probably like, I think we were like second grade, so we're probably like 7 years old. I was 7. I think he was a little older than me, so he might have been 8 or 9. But it's probably an archive of somewhere. Brian Connor, Alex Buck. Brian Connor falls in the pool, almost drowns. Alex Buck, the Boy Scout, pulls him out. And I went to his Boy Scout meeting. He got all these awards and shit. Like, I could have died. I mean, I could have died. I told my brother about it. He was like, you had to let Alex pull you out of the pool? Yeah. He's like, why didn't you just pull yourself out? I was like, I don't know. And he was like,
pure panic set in, dude.
Yeah, but if my brother would have fell in, he could have like figured out how to get him out. But since I'm the baby of the family, I'm like, everybody's always taking care of me. How do I get out of here? And that's like, when you're the older brother, you're like, you don't get anybody to save you, bro. You save yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also now, too, what you fell into is just a freaking cold plunge now. You know what
I mean? I know. You do that like every day.
You can sit in it for 15 minutes and be fine.
It probably prolonged my life.
It probably did, dude.
Yeah.
You probably killed some, like, crazy, like, toxic cells or something, man. Like, regrew some stem cells. I don't know.
Red blood cells reset.
Yeah, the white blood cell count up, you know, I don't know. There's, what do they call them? Cold shot proteins in the liver.
That was like the freak accident that gave me my powers.
Gave you your voice.
Gave me so.
Gave you something. I don't know what it did. Released arthritis in the fingers early on. I don't know.
Well, people do cold plunges and the polar plunge all the time now. It's not even now, however, had I stayed in there much longer, I could have got hypothermia. But
plus you had
when you're in and
clothes
out,
on too, so you were getting ready to sink.
Just swimming in boots, good luck.
So you fell in at like the 8-foot end or like
the deep end.
The deep end.
My dad's pool in Lexington was 8 feet in the deep end, and it went to 4 and 3 feet.
You know what? I think it's funny, like, because I remember my mom, like, getting a phone call from your mom, like, "Oh, Brian's going to be on the news tonight. We got to watch." And me and you had already known.
Brian's dumbass fell in the pool, and
I remember, like, it was actually like a it was like this thing of like family pride is like the next day in school. I'm like, hey, did y'all see the kid that fell in the pool? And everyone's like, yeah. I was like, that's one of my friends. You know, they're like, oh my God, you know. I'm already like,
I love that it's like an accident. Like that's what I'm getting known for, just the notoriety of like.
Yeah, like, but it's like when you did something that was extreme like that, whether it was an accident or something cool, like you saved like a family in a burning car or you fell in a pool. Like
either way,
dude, you're a celebrity, right? So people are like, oh my God, like that guy's known for something.
That is hilarious.
He's extraordinary over everybody else. So,
when you're a kid, I was just watching the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie with my 7-year-old, and the kid like breaks his arm, and he's like, he goes to school, and everybody wants to sign his cast, and it's like he's got this thing of notoriety just because he's got a broken arm.
Dude, everybody loved the kid with the cast, dude.
Yeah, you got the kids that you broke your arm. Tell me about it, bro.
Dude,
like,
that's awesome.
Let me hear your story.
Well, you know? and knowing kids, man, a lot of times you kind of flash, like you really like amp it up. So you're like, yeah, we were in Transylvania for like a vacation, and I got attacked by 3 werewolves. And
speaking of which, segue. This is another thing about Alex Buck and Bruce Fagan, because me and Alex lived across the street from each other. That's why we were like, exploring the frozen countryside and the suburbia, of suburbia, falling in pools and shit. But you would come visit every now and then. We talked about this on the last podcast, how we met, because our moms are friends and stuff. Yeah. But you told me and Alex that you were a werewolf. And we freaking believed you.
It's the greatest.
You came over because you're a little bit older, and you were like, "Guys, is that a full moon? Oh God, like, guys, I'm getting my powers." We're like, "Wait, what's going on? Are you okay? What's going on?" And you're like, "I'm a werewolf, man. I don't want to tell you guys this, but." And you never like were like, "Just kidding." Like, you left and went back home. Yeah. And I
didn't know that for years.
You didn't even go to our school.
No.
So like,
I was a mystery, dude. Like,
and you left, and we were like, "Whoa, man, he really was a werewolf." We believed it for so long.
I still remember too. The basis of the story, and it's the greatest lie I've ever sold. You know, like if you can sell that, you become a folk legend to some kids that were. So I remember we're like out, and it was across the street. I think he had like some sort of like the wooden playground. You know, it's got the big slide, a couple swings, and y'all were sitting kind of on top. You know.
Yeah.
And I think it was like almost a full moon, and they're like, "Hey man, y'all climb up here," and I'm like, "Ah man, I'm not feeling too good." I'm kind of like rubbing my shoulder or something. Like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, can y'all keep a secret? Oh, what's up, man? Because everything's mystery to a kid, right? Like, everything's magical. You just want to hear something different, man. Everything like piques your curiosity, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, yeah, man. I'm a werewolf, and you're like, no way. Like, why aren't you turning right now? And I was like, well, I got like this werewolf hunter's been tracking me, dude, for like months, and he shot me with a silver bullet.
Yeah, some Van Helsing type stuff.
Yeah, some Van Helsing, and it's negating like my transformation fully into the werewolf.
Yeah.
So the silver's like still in my blood, and it's like keeping the transformation at bay. And I think I even like ground a little bit, and they're like, all right, this dude's serious, man. Like, we really need to watch this stuff.
I mean, we were hook, line, and sinker.
Like, totally sold it,
but the funny thing was, like, you left, and then me and Alex would get together on the weekends, like, hey man, we gotta like be werewolves this weekend, bro. Like, we gotta go outside and don't let anybody know we're werewolves. Like, it was a whole thing when we were kids that we were werewolves. And to be fair, that might have been right when Teen Wolf came out. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't think I was allowed to watch American Werewolf in London.
Or Howling.
Howling, no.
Yeah.
But Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Michael J. Fox, man.
Crushing it on Teen Wolf, Back to the Future. Everything he did, you wanted to be a part of. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about is like our childhood. How does it compare to like modern childhoods and how sad kids have it these days through our like retro blasting eyes, the retrospective of like the 80s and 90s were the best time to grow up. Maybe the early 2000s a little too. But when it was just like the adventure we used to have and the freedom we used to have. You know what I'm saying?
They call it like the latchkey kids or something. Like we were the last, like we were talking about, we were the last great urban explorers and adventurers, man. We were the Goonie generation, man. I would say Gen X and the millennials kind of fit into that category. I was born in 78. We got from 70, like late 70s to like right at 90. That was like the greatest generation I could ever imagine being a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because technology was on the rise, but it wasn't in your hand all the time.
Right.
It was on a console in your house. You know, you still had to get out into the world and adventure and like deal with like real things. You know what I mean? And it's like we were talking like the summertime as a kid in South Carolina was brutal.
Oh man.
I don't know for most kids, but for me, dude, like my mom. As soon as, like, you got 3 months out of school, dude, and I lived in a neighborhood where a ton of kids, pretty safe neighborhood, man, like lower middle class type, you know, all 3-bedroom homes, you know, like you always had like that one, you know, where the road dead ends and it just turns into like a garbage pile, It's like a dirt road, goes out to some open shrubs, and there's like always like a burned out school bus and an empty refrigerator and some scrap metal and plastic tarps or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like we would just play down there. It was like a junkyard. That's where we would go. That was our local hangout. Yeah. We would just be finding supplies and stuff like like rusted metal and beams.
We made a couple tree houses in Coventry Woods in Lexington where I grew up that were not safe.
Not safe at all. Not passing any type of code.
I mean, we essentially is that the boomer generation? Their childhoods, who knows? But they just entrusted us that we were going to make the right choices. And they're like, all right, here's a bunch of nails and hammer, and if you want some 2x4s, go for it. And we're like, oh, sweet. And we just built some shit that just like nails poking out, and it's like 3 stories, and it's the woods. Like one of the stepdads in my neighborhood, not even one of the real dads, like a stepdad, he had to come out and be like, guys, this is not safe. I got to dismantle this for your own good. We're like, that's not fair, man. Like, we spent all weekend on this tree house, bruh. But he was right. We would have died.
But there's always the beta stepdad. It's like, guys, I don't think this is safe. Like, and then the other dad's like, shut up, Carl.
Shut up, Carl. Let him build it. He's smoking a cigarette, drinking Jack Daniels.
Like, as long as there's no power tools involved, dude, you're good. Like, hey, boy, if you're going to cut that wood, you got to use a handsaw. So you're just developing like forearm strength.
Yeah.
But, I remember my mom would kick us out. It like 8:39. As soon as the sun's up.
Oh yeah.
Get in there in the kitchen. Get you some breakfast because you're gonna need calories to burn throughout the day, right? Yep. You get outside at 8:39. Mom locks the door. You're in the backyard, man, and you're just like, all right. I guess step number 1: find shade. Like it's already like 90 degrees and 85% humidity in South Carolina during the summertime. Oh yeah. 8:39 in the morning. So if you can't find shade, you're making it. Like, all right. I'm gonna make a teepee. Like you just get some sticks together, dude. Put a sheet around it. All right, it's like 5 degrees cooler in the shade. This step number 2 is like looking for local water sources.
Oh yeah,
any tap water you could get to, man. So if you're traveling throughout the neighborhood, and you also had to know like safe houses.
Oh
right?
Yeah,
you had your safe houses and you had your enemy territories, man. Like don't go in that guy's backyard. Yeah. He's got like a boxer pit bull mix that will tear your face off. You know what I mean? But the old lady next door, she just welcomes everybody. Like you could like walk up in her house, dude, and she'd give you like lemonade or something.
Because you were thirsty as shit in the South Carolina summertime, and probably everywhere in the United States. But for us, it got hot and humid as hell in South Carolina, to the point where it's like you might not even knock on the sweet old lady's door.
You just turn on her.
You just go into her, and she wouldn't care anyway if you really knew her. She's like friends with your parents.
She knew a kid was getting hydrated.
Right.
It was like an unwritten rule.
And I was gonna say, like you always know the taste of that garden hose water. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just got that like plasticity. It's got that like rubber hose taste. We all remember, man, just drinking from the hose. And your boy's like, all right, man, that's enough. Pass it over here, and you're just like, you're all drinking out of the hose, and you just turn it on. And first of all, you got to wait like a minute.
Yeah, give it a good minute.
Boiling hot out of the hose.
Depending on the length of the hose in the sun.
Oh,
like if you found a hose in the shade, you're good, right?
Yeah.
And you forget that sometimes, but that's like a lesson you learn pretty quickly. If it's like 20 feet of hose coiled up in the sun, it's been there for 3 hours, dude, you're going to burn your face off.
Man.
So you got to turn it on. It's just like steam. And you get that like, because it's just hot steam like shooting out the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to hold it away from your face, dude.
Like if we had a glass of like garden hose water right now, we could still taste it. Yep, that came from garden hose. Like I remember that taste.
I also think not only the hose, but it was the copper pipe. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the PVC everywhere. Everybody had like the copper spigot. Right. You know what I mean? So like you're getting all your daily minerals and like everything you need out of the copper. Like we're the healthiest.
Is it fair to say that by and large everything's PVC now? Because I think they replaced ours like recently. Yeah.
I think earlier on it was like lead, then they went copper, and now it's like PVC. But I think a lot of people are going back to copper. You know what I mean? But, yeah, dude. And I remember too, like as soon as you're out, so you're out there, you got shade, you got water. Now it's time to build fortifications.
Right.
And so, because in my neighborhood, we had a real problem with like stray packs of dogs.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And like when we'd go down to the junkyard at the end of the neighborhood, like I was talking about, I remember we were just down there, man, and like it would be wise of you to make a couple of spears along the way, you know? Yeah. And so every kid had, if you're lucky, dude, you had like a Rambo survival knife, right?
Oh, man.
Like you got that out of the catalog.
None of my crew ever had that.
Oh, dude. I mean, like I used to remember selling like wallpaper and shit like that. You go door to door, and then you could it was a catalog, and you'd sell $2,000 worth of wallpaper and wrapping or something, some bullshit, and they'd give you like a $3 item to choose from. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it was a pyramid scheme it was child labor.
Right.
Like you're making some corporation rich selling their bullshit product.
Just to interject real quick, one of the prizes was always a keytar. And you know what a keytar is?
It's like the keyboard
right.
guitar. Yeah.
In the 80s, the keytar, in my mind, is like the grail,
greatest,
dude.
yeah.
Like, I always wanted a keytar, and everybody makes fun of me about this. I always wanted to start a keytar band. Because me and Jessica...
all keytars?
Dude, yeah. Me and Jessica were talking about this last podcast, and I was like, dude, like Les Hall, Nick Brewer, I was like, I want to start a keytar band, and they all make fun of me. But anyway, that was one of the prizes. Because remember the Revenge of the Nerds movie? It was like, bow, bow. Bow, 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 da, da, da. That might have been Herbie Hancock, never mind. Either way. But he had a keytar. Anyway, the thing you're talking about, you go door to door, and you get a keytar is one of the prizes, or it could be like a giant gummy bear or a thing of Reese's Pieces or M&M's, right?
Or it'd be a raft. Like an inflatable raft. And I'm like, dude, I just want to go down a river and that thing. But what I was into, like they would have hatchets, knives. So like this one catalog, like you got like 13,000 points from selling so much product, right? And then you send it, you mail it in or something, and then I had a hatchet. I got the knife, camp knife, stuff like that. I think I never. You had to sell like 20 grand worth of shit. It was like Avon for kids, dude. You had to sell 20 grand just to get a raft that costs like $3 at Walmart. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so we're down at the end of the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
At the de facto junkyard.
Yeah.
There's always like 13 like disintegrating trash bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the plastics like ripping open. It's just people just throw shit like rubber tires and stuff. You know, I'm like, oh, rubber tires are great for building forts, man. I was like, that's a really good defense against wild packs of dogs. But we're down there like 8, 9 years old, scaring off German shepherds at random. You know what I mean? And like there was no mom helicopter parents like hovering over you to make sure.
Not like me.
Yeah, it was
I couldn't imagine.
But you know what you did? You tribed up, right?
Right.
Like you'd find 2 of your buddies.
Yeah.
You'd have each other's backs in the woods, man.
Yeah.
And you'd like kind of like have like a 3-man team with like spears and shit.
Yeah.
And we had like a storm drain system that ran out to the bottom of that same little junkyard or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was the end of it because it was all downhill. So we'd find that opening.
Hell yeah.
It was just a tunnel. So it's like what was popular back when we were kids, G.I. Joe, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
We all wanted to be tunnel rat. It was like the coolest job, dude, right? And so we get in the tunnels, man, and we're just in our elbows. Like me and my cousin Matt, you know, and this kid up the street, Robbie Clowney, dude. We get in these tunnels, dude, and you would work your way from one section.
You talking about like sewer tunnels?
It was not sewer tunnel, but like a storm drain. It was basically a sewer tunnel.
Right.
But it's the storm drain, right?
Okay.
And so you'd work your way.
We used to do that too.
But you'd work your way to the next point, and you'd come up, and it's the actual where water would pour in, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one time this lady's walking by with her baby carriage, and we're like, help! And she's like, oh my, like looking around, we're like, down here! And she's like, oh my God, are y'all okay? She's ready to call the cops. We're like, no, we're just playing around. But one thing we didn't realize is like, what's something that happens a lot in South Carolina during the summer. Surprise thunderstorms, dude. We're like half a mile into
You guys could have died easily.
We could have easily drowned from a flash flood. Yeah.
Yep.
And we did it like all the time, man. And I think if we saw like rain or like my mom would just like give us the warning, stay out of the storm drains if you see a cloud in the sky. That was her like way of saying like you will die.
Right.
But she didn't go into detail, but you just trusted her word. So every time we get ready to go, it's like, hey guys, it's looking a little cloudy out there. I don't think we should be climbing in the storm drains. You know?
Remind me in just 1 second, something really cool that your mom did. I remember that you told me about as kids. It's just, I love your mom for this. It's awesome. But I want to comment on this too, man. The sewer pipe or storm drain, as you said. I remember like we'd find one and it was like a deer. Like, you go through it, man. Come on, don't be a wuss, whatever. And like you're just like, I'll go through it. You start going, but pretty soon, man, it takes a little longer than you thought, and you're like looking back. And you're looking forward, and there's like a hole of light that way and a hole of light that way, and you're like, holy shit, man, like I gotta make a choice. Fuck it, I guess I'm gonna finish this thing. And it probably took about 20 minutes, man, in this one in Coventry Woods that we used to do and my degenerate friends. Shout out to Kevin Jacobs and Rand Courtney and Mark Brown. But we'd go through this thing, man, and like finally, like you said, we'd pop up, and it's like, it's not the manhole, but what do you call it? It's like the concrete square with the manhole on top
I know
of
what you're talking about. It's like the storm runoff. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't call it. I don't know the definition.
And like if you go trick-or-treating...
It's a literal storm drain.
Right. In certain neighborhoods that do it big for Halloween, they'll have like Pennywise the Clown in there.
The red balloon hanging there or something.
It's like just funny decoration. But and then because you can't really fit through that, man. It's like a small-ass like thing to fit
at
through.
6 or 7, like you could maybe squeeze.
If you can get your skull through there, you can get the rest of your
There's
body
always
through.
one kid that could squeeze through that open. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, do what the
or it's like, guess what, motherfucker? Turn around and go back, which is kind of terrifying. We didn't even think about rats, snakes, whatever, or a storm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but if your friends are daring you, you don't want to look like a punk. You're just going to kind of like, even if you have to cry like half the way through, you're going to do it, man.
Yeah.
You're going to do the dare. But that was kind of fucking terrifying. The one thing I want to shout out to your mom, Miss Melanie, is can we talk about the treasure hunt that you did?
Oh, dude.
You know what I'm talking about?
Bro. Dude, I forget about that stuff sometimes. All right.
You went in your wood because you were encouraged to find treasure in the backyard.
Well, no, all right, so this is when you have a magical mother. Right, we got magical moms, right? Like great moms, dude. In my backyard, dude, I just started digging a hole one day. And we had these red tip,
which is a common practice amongst our age.
Something
what
in our
did you do
DNA.
this Saturday? We dug a giant hole, like literally all Saturday.
Before the digital age and games and all that shit on your phone and everything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You were in the backyard either building a fort. You were either building up, climbing a tree, or digging a hole.
Do you remember the ditch in Coventry Woods?
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally, back in my dad's backyard, there was a ditch. And we spent all our time back there, man. You know what I mean?
But you know what? It was like World War I trench warfare.
Yeah.
Like, you were just in comfort in a trench. You know
we would try to dig, like, a tunnel, but then it would just collapse on us.
Yeah. But then you would actually get 2x4s and frame up the opening just to try and keep the dirt.
We weren't that smart, but...
Well, we did a couple times.
That was better.
But no,
Go back to your
so
the
we
treasure.
actually we had like an old kennel run that we had a little black a Cocker Spaniel, you know, at some point when I was a little kid, and so my dad had gated off this little section in the backyard, so it was kind of open. There was like red. You remember the red tip bushes?
Oh yeah,
they would just grow like 300 feet in the air, you know. Everybody had red tips bordering their house, and so I'm back there I just started digging a hole one day, and I'm like in my mind, I'm like, my mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just gonna dig until I find treasure. She's like, all right. So I'm digging. I'm out there for 2 or 3 days, man. And I'm digging one day, and it's like the last day, dude. And I'm getting, in my mind, it's like 10 feet down. I'm like 2 feet deep. Right? And so I'm getting some loose soil, dude. And I hit something, dude, with my shovel. And when I pulled it up, it scared me because it was like a leather lashing. But I thought it was like a snake or something, man. And I was like freaked out. I was like, oh shit. And then I saw it, man. And I kind of poked around at it, and I pulled up. I started like covering the dirt off of it, man. Pulled up this like leather sack, dude, and had this leather lashing around. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. And so like I started doing it, dude, and I opened it up, dude, and it's got like an old timer, like remember that brand, the old timer pocket knife? It's got some coins in it, dude. It's got like an old like Confederate dollar bill or something, man, like some stamps, you know, dude. Like an hourglass, you know, like a couple of rings, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like I fucking found treasure, dude. I lost my mind. I go running into my mom's house, into the house, dude. Mom, I found this like treasure in the backyard. She's like, what is this? And I'm like laying it on the table, and she's like, who do you think maybe pilgrims left? And I'm like, I think, man, like, Mom, this is, we gotta call the museum. So excited. I had this bag, this sack of, I showed everybody in the neighborhood, dude. Years, I forget about it, dude. I'm like an adult. This was like 10 years ago. And I'm just, you know, you just reminisce about shit, dude. I'm thinking about that, and all of a sudden that memory just popped up in my head, and I'm like, how crazy is that I was just digging in the backyard and found
it's a little suspicious
a leather sack of. What?
And your mom wasn't even that surprised,
dude. I called my mom up, and I'm like, hey, I gotta ask you a question. She's like, yeah. I'm like, remember when I was a little kid, I was out there digging that hole in the backyard, and she was like, I was like, and I found that sack of treasure, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, you did that, didn't you? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, awesome, oh my God. And I was like, you never said anything about it, dude. Never played it. It just never came to me with like years later. I was like, hey, you remember, like she let me go and believe it. Just my whole childhood, I found treasure in my backyard, man.
I love it, man.
Fucking awesome.
That's the most beautiful story ever, man. Because it just imbued you with all this confidence, and you had this great adventure, and like you had so much accomplishment and triumph. Like the whole thing was like a farce or whatever in a way, but you did find it. Well, it's just that she made it a little bit more magical.
She made it happen, but here's the thing. I asked her, I was like, why'd you do that? And she's like, it's funny. She's like, I'm sitting there in the kitchen window, like washing dishes or cooking or whatever. And she's like, I'm looking out in the backyard, and you're just fucking digging. Right? She's like,
had she not have done that, how much more would you have digged? She probably wanted to save her yard.
She probably was just like, all right, this asshole's she's gonna have a heat stroke if I don't put something out there.
Let's let him find some treasure for the love of God.
Like, let me put some coins in this sack before this kid dies, and I gotta call the police or something. No, but she just said she saw me out there just like, and I come in, dude, like I'm like Indiana Jones out there, man, wiping my brow, man.
Right.
Like, I think I got a satchel on or something, man. Like, got my work boots on, my gloves, little shovel, going to town, dude. So she was like, yeah, I just figured I'd put this. I just had an idea one day, put some shit out there. And just, I mean, she's literally put it like a foot of dirt over it, dude. And I'm back out. I'm like, all right, Mom, grab the shovel. And that's an awesome mom moment too.
Yeah.
When your son grabs a shovel and he's like, all right, Mom, I'm going back to the pit. And she's like, all right, son, good luck, wink, wink.
Right.
And she just and like. That's the shit that like gets passed on to us as parents, right?
Man.
That we get to do for our kids, you know?
Oh, I'm into it deep. I mean, we both are, like, but it's all about making it magical. I mean, because I just fear that this generation of kids doesn't have it as magical as if you grew up in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s.
Lost the adventure, man.
Dude, you kind of lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the advent of like the readily available technology and iPhones and iPads, dude. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, one of the saddest things I've ever seen recently, man, that really just irked me to my soul. I took my kids to a playground, and they're like running around, and I see these, like, they're not even old enough to be like, you know, high school teenagers, man. They're maybe like early middle school teenagers, but they look kind of kids, and they're just like slumped over in a swing, and like they had their phones, man. They got that like common neck bend,
the neck crank,
like they're
crank,
losing
dude. Muscle stability.
They're losing, and they're just on their phones. They're not talking to each other, and they're just on their phones, like kind of swinging. It was almost like a zombie or something, man.
Dude.
And
they're
like,
not even swinging. Though.
My kids just run by. I'm like,
yeah,
what are these guys doing? You know, and I'm just like, nobody's running, nobody's playing, nobody's like throwing a ball. It's just quiet, and they're on their phone. I'm like, God, dude, that is freaking sad, man.
Imagine going to a park in nature. Like, you can be on a phone in a house. But then you get outside in a swing.
Yeah.
You got the clouds, you got trees, you got greenery, you got noise, you got the fresh air, and you still can't look up from the phone. You know what I mean?
I mean, we all get it. We're all addicted to our phones.
We're all doom scrolling.
But you gotta be cognizant of that and like get past it. Like that's why when I have an adventure and like, you know, I'll hang out with like your daughter and Mike T's daughter, Michael Lee, and my goddaughters and like my kids and all my boys. Like we'll get like I'll take them on an adventure. Like we're going to the playground today. Like we're gonna go play some music, whatever. And like some kid will break out the phone. I'm like, I'm like, put the phones up. Like, I was just checking something. Nuh-uh, you're 11. You don't need a phone.
Put your phone up. What are you checking? Your stock prices?
Right. Like, what if my mom calls me? I was like, if your mom calls you, that's fine. Like, or she can call me, but we're putting our phones up. We're going to a playground. Like, we're going to a zoo. We're doing something, man. Like, y'all need to experience this because it's just sad these days, man.
Dude, that's a whole, like, campaign we should start. Eyes up.
Right.
The eyes up came to, like, look up here, dude.
I
like,
mean,
you're not looking down anymore.
Like human beings' necks have to be just jacked.
Have you seen the gamer, like, the de-evolution of people where, like, they get this, like, bowl in their head where, like,
I guess want to have better postures talking about it.
Oh, dude, every time I drive now, I'm just like, why does my back hurt so much? And then I'll elevate myself 3 inches by sitting up straight. I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm sitting over like a hunched up, like hermit.
Well, they say the Peter Pan stance, if you're having a bad day, you just stand like Peter Pan. You just do this. And then you just take a deep breath. And it does something to your physiology. You get more like white blood cells, and it's just like your straight spine, but it makes you feel better.
It does.
Like it's a physical response.
And when you first do it, you're kind of tired for a second because you're not slouching. But as soon as you see, like, dude, this is too much effort. And then like a minute later, you're like, God, dude, like I've got like my brain fog's going away, man.
Yeah,
I feel like 100
and you got to like take the fist and put them on your side. Like who stands like that?
Well, I do that when I'm driving, and I'm just like,
I'll get you, Captain Hook.
I try to do that when I'm driving. I just like slowly veer them down. I'm like, oh shit.
You drive with your knees.
Yeah. And talking about the 80s and 90s, man. All right, go ahead. Well, you started. All right, let's take that from.
Okay, well, there might be like a little bit of a theory here, and there might be a point that it has to do with the influence of 80s movies, just the 80s zeitgeist, if you will. The advent of like home video games, because it was always about the arcade in the 80s for us. Like you go to the arcade, like you're playing, you put the quarter up there, and you're gonna play Barrel of Fun. Yeah. It's like a circle cut out in the Bush River Mall.
Barrel. Yes.
Yeah, get the peanuts. Dutch Square. What'd I say?
Bush River.
Oh no, it is Bush River.
No,
but it's Dutch Square.
Bush River Mall was different than Dutch Square. Bush River Mall was down the street on Bush River Road. It was Bush River Mall, dude, and it had a movie theater. It had a smaller arcade. It was almost like a single strip mall, I swear to God.
What the hell? Are you sure?
Yes. Bush River Mall and Dutch Square Mall are two different places.
Fair enough.
And then the Bush River Mall turned into a Target. And that Target closed down.
Okay.
Right? And now it's the Walmart, and that Walmart closed down too.
You know what's crazy? And this kind of goes into what we're talking about, a little bit of a segue, but I'm jumping ship here. that Target, there was a movie theater. My mom took me to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie there in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Just me and my mom. And like, you're talking about your mom being awesome because of the Finding the Treasure. Like, that to me was like a life-changing thing because I love the Ninja Turtles and like me and my friends would watch the cartoon and stuff. But then when my mom was cool enough to like take me to see it, just me and her, dude, it like was life-changing. Yeah. For her, it's just like, it's kind of a cool movie. You like it, so I like it. Whatever, it's fine. But for me, I was like, oh my God.
A profound experience.
That was the best movie I've ever seen in my life. And then I found out about graphic novels, and my brother Chris like got me the novel, you know, because he was always like getting me novels and like showing you stuff.
The classic graphic novels.
The early Ninja Turtles comics, they all had red bandanas, and it was violent as shit.
Yeah, it was like Dark Horse, man.
Dude, the Shredder dies in the first issue.
Yeah.
Like like my
black
brother,
and white, right?
Because Chris always like gave me that kind of stuff. He would like read Ninja Turtles stuff
to me. He would hand down
me.
all the cool shit to you.
Yeah. Remember that X-Men graphic novel he got me?
God Loves Man Kills? Dude, it was the greatest experience with your brother, man. It was like such a cool experience with him, too, because like he was showing me, like, he included me into his world. And he's like, hey, man, check this out. Like, you'd go, like the Sunken Den was the greatest, right?
Yeah,
like we
in
go
my
down
house.
At your dad's house, man. The Sunken Den. We go down there, play like everybody else is upstairs sleeping, dude. We had the whole den. It was almost like a basement. You had a bedroom there, a bathroom, and it was just a den, a fireplace, the TV. Me and you playing Nintendo all night, like a couch and a couple of chairs.
Oh yeah.
And but I remember one night, I can't remember where you went. But it was around Christmas time, and Chris was like, hey, dude, check this out. Like, I got Brian this for Christmas, man.
Yeah.
And it was the graphic novel, God Loves Man Kills, a perfect, a great X-Men story with the Reverend Stryker.
Right.
They kind of based the
Right.
X-Men
That's
movie.
what I was gonna say.
X2 was based off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, terribly done by Brian Singer, of course. But
we're talking about the X-Men Part 2 movie that came out in 2010?
X2 United. No, because
2005.
I mean, dude, X-Men, the movie came out in what, 99, 2000?
2000. So the second was like
had to be a few years later. But it was okay. It was better than the first one for sure.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, because you had the Nightcrawler.
For the muggles out there that have no clue what we're fucking talking about, like X-Men 2 is like the second X-Men movie, and God Loves Man Kills. So in Hollywood,
based off that.
Yeah, graphic novels is like a giant novel that it's not
collection
just,
of comic books.
It's like not just a comic book that has like maybe 26, 30 pages. It's like a collection of like 6 or 7 comic books all in one. And graphic novels, right? Yeah. It's oftentimes what movies are based off of. The Watchmen. Have you ever seen The Watchmen? That's off a graphic novel, you know, which
was fairly done by Zack Snyder. I mean, I think him doing the Watchmen movie was pretty close to the comic. But
who's the creator of The Watchmen? Because
his name,
sources say he hated it. He didn't like it.
You can't please everybody.
Alan Moore. Alan Moore.
Genius. Alan Moore. He's somewhat comic genius, but he kind of insists upon himself. Like, he thinks he's more important than he really is to comic. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. He had some great stuff, but at the same time,
I mean, if you created that, I'm just kind of like, hey man, you do you. It's all good.
I mean, created Dr. Manhattan, dude. That's
the whole thing is genius.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
But anyway, going back to the 80s, like you were talking, those graphic novels. But I remember just Chris showing me the graphic novel and be like, I'm getting this for Brian. I'm like, dude, this, and just like, thank you so much for including me in your world, dude. This is and just like he let me read the whole thing, man. I was like, all right, I still got that graphic novel in my bookcase, dude. It's like, not yours, but like,
right.
Well, I bought one.
My big brother was kind of like he wasn't a pimp necessarily, like in the fact that he had like a lot of women. I mean, he probably. You know, he probably had a lot of romantic lover,
dude.
But like all girls love the shit out of my brother, dude. Yeah. It kind of made me like always kind of like in some weird in my mind like wanted to hate him for it out of jealousy, but I just never did. It never was any of that. It was all looking up to him in adoration. And I was like, he's just the coolest.
Like you were Joaquin Phoenix and he was River Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of. You ever seen the movie? You ever seen Legends of the Fall? Legends of the Fall.
Yeah.
I always attribute to like if you guys have ever seen Legends of the Fall with Brad Pitt. Like, you know how Samuel dies? He's like, Samuel! Yeah. And then he, like, cuts out the heart of the general that killed his brother Samuel, but Brad Pitt lives.
Yeah.
Well, this reality is like, if Samuel lives and Brad Pitt died. Yeah. Like, I'm Samuel.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? That's
and
how,
Samuel's
that's
still
how
great.
my brother
Samuel's
Chris was, you know?
Yeah. Your brother was Tristan.
Yeah, my brother was Tristan. He died. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But he was the cool one.
But Samuel was still awesome.
Me. Sorry, everybody.
No.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. But he was awesome. Much love to that. The whole thing was cool.
But he was that cool kind of mentor during the 80s and early 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy that kind of introduced you to, like, shit that you weren't quite aware of yet. You know, like
well,
a little bit
you
more
too.
mature,
You did that as well, but definitely him. But well, so I got this little timeline. I wanted to like read this to you, man. Like just kind of talk about this because we were talking about like 80s movies and how it affected us and how we wanted to just go outside. Like we were so psyched and our imaginations were just on fire. Okay, so 1977 was the first Star Wars, right? Yeah. Alien, your favorite movie, 1979.
Yep.
All right, then you got 1980 is Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. What did I say? Lost?
Lost, it works.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Edit that.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981. Also, Return of the Jedi is 1983. So that whole span, man. Like,
see, out of the Star Wars franchise, I only remember Return of the Jedi in theaters.
So I don't know if I saw it in theaters. I think I did as a kid.
The best was the Dollar Cinema with every summer, dude. And they would have a 2-for-1 special, and it'd be like Ghoulies and then Return of the Jedi, dude. So you're like Ghoulies, dude. You had to watch Ghoulies first because I mean, it was campy and fun. It was like a little bit more of a
damn it, Ghoulies.
A little bit more of a shittier Gremlins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just remember the ghoulie coming up through the toilet like and grabbing the chick, man. Like. And as a
now
matter
you get
of fact,
into like horror comedy, horror-y,
thinking back, dude,
sci-fi.
it wasn't even like a double feature. It was my buddy's parents like paid for Ghoulies and then snuck us in the fucking.
Oh, of course, yeah, dude.
Yeah, but it was still $1. Dude,
oh man, me and my friend Kevin Jacobs, shout out. Like we'd pay for one movie and like we would just go
stay
and,
there
like,
all day, dude.
Yeah, or just go back and forth and see different movies during the same time. And the ushers would get all mad.
Dude, I was such a loser, man. I was always such a scared kid. So for like my birthday, I think we went and saw at the Dollar Cinema. No, I went with my friend one Saturday.
Circuit.
No, but it's even worse. It's
Johnny Five.
It was like Kindergarten Cop. You know what I mean? And it's a Saturday.
It's not a tumor.
No, it's not a tumor.
It's a tumor.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a tumor? It's not a tumor. It's not.
Yeah. Which was, we could talk about that too, but like there's a trend in Hollywood where it's like the bulky male, alpha male killer.
Comedy.
Like let's put him, he does all these hack and slash murderous movies. We know he's a badass
Terminator,
now
Predator,
let's make him a comedic.
Yes.
I mean, The Rock, John Cena.
Yeah,
I mean, you name it. It actually kind of works, dude. And John Cena is great, man. I love him. But it's like
when he's apologizing to the Chinese and Mandarin piece of shit. All
right. But that whole thing started with like probably Jingle All the Way and Kindergarten Cop and Twins, dude. Twins, Danny DeVito.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Well then you had Stallone.
Julius.
He's like, listen to me, Julius, you're my twin brother. And he's like, clearly. I mean,
it's like, all right, so we got 2 kids out of it. Good job, Mom.
Good job.
Actually, you're the shit that was left, Danny DeVito.
Hey, dickhead, this is my brother.
Yeah.
Listen to me, that's my brother.
I had Twins on VHS.
Or
at least my neighbor Joey Huffman, shout out to Joey Huffman, my crazy ass neighbor Juvenile Joey. I think he had like a wide assortment of VHS tapes we watched sometimes, and Twins was one of them.
Yeah.
But dude,
Twins is still a great. If Twins is on, I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
But let me run through. Let me keep going.
Keep going.
So, Return of the Jedi, 1983. Temple of Doom, 1984. Ghostbusters, 1984. Karate Kid, 1984.
Wow.
Terminator, 1984.
84 is a hit.
Never Ending Story,
Wow.
1984.
Yeah, 84
I mean, dude, our imaginations, like, if you were, anytime you were born around that area, because you probably saw a lot of this stuff through reruns if you're like a 90s kid or whatever. But, dude, your imaginations are just on fire at that point, man. You're like, oh my God, I got to go on my own adventure. Not even getting to Goonies yet. Because
when did Goonies come out?
Goonies is 1985. That's the next year.
Yep.
Back to the Future, 1985. Yep. Aliens, plural, 1986.
Greatest movie of all time is Aliens.
You love Aliens. And then, of course, the Tim Burton Batman, 1989. And to me, it encapsulates the whole thing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I was talking about. My mom came and saw them in 4th grade, March 30th, 1990, dude.
Nice.
That whole block is just like, are you kidding me, man? Like, let's get our friends together. Let's go out in the woods and let's just like be gone all day on our bikes. Let's like build a fort. Let's go on some crazy ass adventure. And if we don't, we failed.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mentality, man. Like, I remember just being way down the street, man. There was no cell phones.
No.
There weren't even pagers yet when we were like little kids, man.
No, there's nothing.
All our moms kind of knew each other.
You had a common rule. You got to be home before the sun goes down in the summertime,
Yeah.
which is like 9:30 at night. I remember my mom
It's a long ass day.
I remember during the summertime, my mom would like try and make me go to bed at like 8:30, and I could still hear kids playing in my front yard, dude. Like
Yeah.
they're like throwing a football, riding bikes, building ramps. I'm laying in bed like wide awake, dude. The sun's totally out. I'm like, Jesus, like, but no,
Yeah.
dude, it was like, but during the summertime, like, yeah, be home by the time the sun goes down, right?
Yeah.
And so again, too, man, we're talking about making forts and shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We made forts. We would find like some old barbed wire.
Oh,
You know,
God.
and like pull it off of like an old, like a fence that was all rotten and shit, breaking it. And we'd drag this barbed wire for like, half a mile back to our, and we just got like constant. It looked like a hooch in a freaking Vietnam like bunker or some shit, man.
Yeah.
We got sandbags piled up around us, man. And that was just to like protect yourself from like, again, wild dogs, some bullies, they'd come up, dude. They had to get through like some briars and some old barbed wire to get to you.
Did you ever do the punji holes?
Dude, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
you
dude.
dig a hole and you
Dig a
put
hole.
spikes in it?
We would put spikes on it.
Yeah.
Dude. Never covered it in feces or anything. But, like,
Is it punji? Is
it's
that
like,
right?
It's like a punji stick.
Punji stick, yeah.
But like, I think we would put like dog crap on
Covered
the
in feces.
We never like shit on it, but we like
Yeah.
because you watch all the old like Vietnam movies like,
Right.
when you're a kid. So we just like stick it in the white dog shit, like the tips of the spears.
Did nothing.
Didn't do that. No.
I don't want to call it my homegirl, but I have a homegirl that ate dog shit one time, and you know her. It's one of our best friends. I don't know if we should talk shit
I
about
don't
her on
even
the
know who that
podcast. I don't know. She thought it was a white donut, and she took a bite of it.
Okay, who thinks it's a white? Who tricked her into think? Who formed it into a white donut to have them take a bite of it?
I don't
It
know.
had to be
I'm
you
just
or-
gonna say her name starts with a T. And she thought it was a white donut. She took it. Is this? I'm pretty sure. I'll talk. I don't want to call
We'll
her out.
probably edit this out, but
We're not gonna edit it out, but it's fine. But she
So,
thought it was one of those white
of our
donuts,
crew-
but she ate a turd. She ate a white
a
turd.
powdery white dog
She
turd.
thought, because why do dogs turn white? Why do they turn white? What's the? I don't know.
That's
Dog-
a question for Grok or ChatGPT.
I guess so.
Why does an old dog turd turn white? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like a fresh dog turd is gushy, and then after a couple of days, it gets a little hard. Depending on the temperature.
Man, I wish I shit like my dog, dude, because like my dog has the healthiest looking shit
I know.
I've ever seen. My dog's 11 years old, so he's like 77 in dog years.
Captain, German
Big old
Shepherd.
German Shepherd, dude.
Yeah.
Sensitive
Good
stomach.
boy.
Good, great dog. Greatest dog we've ever had.
Good protective dog, man.
Dude, he will annihilate
Like every
anybody.
time I come to your house, like even though he's seen me a million times, he comes right up to me. He's got to check me out. He's like, all right, you're clear, motherfucker. Like,
For 3 seconds every time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long you've known Captain. For the first 3 seconds of seeing him again, your asshole
Yeah.
puckers just a little bit. Like, 'cause
I'm
this
like,
could be the
hey
day.
buddy, you know me.
Yeah.
You know me. Because
Everybody-
he's like, I got a whole family in here to protect. I got
Yeah.
a baby in Ridley. I got like a whole crew in here to protect. Like, who are you, bro?
Oh,
It's like, hey man, you know me, bro.
He said they're shadow, dude. But as soon as he
Yeah.
smells you, he's like, all right, you're cool. You passed the
you're
smell.
clear.
check,
He's like the
dude.
bodyguard of the club.
He's the
you know?
bodyguard of the club, dude.
He's the doorman.
Greatest dog ever. But I was thinking too. He was outside earlier. I'm like, let him out, and he's taking a dump, and I'm like, 77-year-old dog ears, perfect looking shit. Like, if you took a picture of like a medical journal of what like a human fecal specimen should perfect
Yeah.
specimen should look like from a human, it'd be
Yeah.
a picture of his. Meanwhile, I'm over here like every morning. It sounds like a drive-by shooting. Just pop, 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 pop. Like I told my wife, I'm like, how are you even attracted to me when you have to wake up? It sounds like I'm out there trying to like kickstart an old like Honda Shadow. It's just like spraying all over the toilet, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I come out, dude, like an hour and a half later with like 2 cups of coffee, and I'm like, hey, you wanna fuller? Like, still got to get in the shower, dude. The smell's just like hitting. The smell wakes my wife up.
Right.
She's already learned how to tune
Yeah.
out the sound of the drive-by.
Right.
Farting in the. It's like.
Tell them about the time, like, you knew you crossed the line where you had, like, a limited amount of time. You were home from work. You're like, fuck, I've only got 20 minutes, and I got to take a shit, and I've also got to eat lunch. And you told me this. I mean, I was just saying, like...
Did I eat lunch on the toilet?
I think you told me, like, you tried to eat, like, a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket off the toilet.
A bucket of KFC. Never. I would have had a salad on the toilet.
But, like,
never-
halfway through, you're like, dude, I can't do this. This is just too far.
I think I had
like second guess.
I think I had a Jersey Mike's like fucking ham and cheese,
Good
like
God.
the stickball special, and I was like, oh shit, I got to dump, dude. We're gonna make this
Yeah.
happen. And I think like 3 bites in, I'm like, this is the grossest shit I've ever done. And then actually, I finished the sandwich and a full bag of fucking shit. No, I'm just kidding. And then went back to
There's
work.
microscopic fecal matter particles like that are in the air, dude. Like you're getting those. You're like out of you right back into the sandwich, man. Like that can't be healthy.
I
like
mean,
there's a reason why like the bathroom and the kitchen are two different places. Right?
You've never seen a toilet in the kitchen.
No.
Just shitting by the stove. All right, what are we talking about?
So anyway, the 80s were great.
The 80s were great.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, but just keeping on going here. Also, Goonies 1985. For me, that was the ultimate. That's like seeing Tony Hawk skate and wanting to be a skateboarder. I saw Goonies and I was like, holy shit! I must go on some grand adventure with my friends. Like I have to, man.
I want to find a pirate. I want to find some tunnels with precarious danger around every corner.
One-Eye Willie.
In a pirate ship would. You know what it was for us? You know what it is too? That's like in our DNA as little kids. Gold.
Oh,
finding the booty of like a whole treasure chest of gold.
Something
coins,
in our DNA
dude.
About that whole thing.
Like
just
seriously,
treasure,
finding the jewels,
shiny.
the gold. Yeah.
Well, check this out. Goonies 1985, Back to the Future 1985.
Yeah.
If that doesn't just light your imagination on fire as a kid or whatever, however old you are, or however old you see it, like, dude, Back to the Future, I mean, it's a perfect movie, man. Like, I don't know.
It's a perfect movie, but think about when they pitched that to the studios, they were like, hey, I got an idea for a movie. All right, what do you got? They're like, all right, it's called Back to the Future. Like, okay.
Yeah.
What happens there's like this teenager, he goes back in time. They're like, what does he do? Does he go like stop Hitler or anything? They're like, no. He goes back in time and his mother tries to fuck him. Like, that's like,
Does he prove the existence of Jesus? No,
not at all. Not at all. He goes back in time and he thwarts his dad from like hooking up with his mother.
Right.
And then he has uncomfortable fucking like make-out sessions with his mom.
Right.
He's also best friends with a scientist, a disgraced nuclear physicist.
Mom, you're so thin.
And I can't take credit for that bit. That was actually from John Mulaney, who was like detailed it perfectly.
Hilarious.
He's so good.
I know it.
But yeah, like Back to the Future, when you really dig into it, like what a weird concept for a movie, man. We could have done anything with going back in time.
I love Michael J. Fox. He
good.
also was filming Family Ties simultaneously to filming that first Back to the Future movie. And
so
really,
who almost took the role for Back to the Future?
what's his name from
Eric
Pulp
Stoltz.
Fiction? Yeah, Eric Stoltz.
Have you seen the pictures? They had basically filmed like most of Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz. And somebody was like, they never told Eric Stoltz it was like a comedy. So he played it like a lot more serious. He was like a lot more serious about like the role. Like, oh dude, my mom's trying to fuck me. Or something.
It wouldn't work.
It didn't work. Eric Stoltz is a great actor, man. Like, of course, Mask.
I love Eric Stoltz too. Mask and Pulp Fiction. His portrayal is like the Jesus-looking heroin dealer.
Yeah, but Michael J. Fox.
John Travolta. Oh,
Michael J. Fox is the guy we needed, not Stoltz. You know what I mean?
I love Michael J. Fox just so much, and the thing is, really, like the things I want to do in my life is really because of him. Because so I'm playing guitar. Yeah. He's like, hey guys, this is some B flat. Watch for the changes and try to keep up. Okay. Well, back in Louisiana, I was like, oh my God, like I must be a guitar player and a singer. And then it's like he's skateboarding later, like holding on the truck, and I was like, oh my God, I must be a skateboarder. And I was a skateboarder and singer. Like I owe Michael J. Fox my whole life. So
like guitar career,
and I love him so much. I love Michael J. Fox, and I've read a couple of his books, and like. If anybody needs to be, I mean, we couldn't save Christopher Reeves. God bless him. I mean, he was like an American icon too. Like, please, for the love of God, can we save Michael J. Fox? Like, give him some stem cell research. Do something, man. I don't know.
It's a wrap, dude.
Anyway, I love you, Michael J. Fox. We can't save anybody. I don't know what to do. If you ever listen, I love you very much. We love you. But
Michael J. Fax was
now,
a little known character you never heard of. Michael J. Fax did Back to the Past. All right? So he was an Indian bee. Anyway.
Well, let's keep running down here. Did I already do this?
What's that?
Aliens 1986.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's another thing to think about because we're talking about why is the kid in the swing with his iPhone, I don't care about playing with my friends. Because here's the thing of it, too. The Nintendo Entertainment System came out in 1983, okay?
Yeah.
Which, for all my 80s kids, same year that He-Man and the Masters of the Universe came out, what?
With Dolph Lundgren?
Okay. No, I'm talking about the cartoon.
Oh,
that was years later.
Okay.
But like the SNES came out, Super Nintendo was 1990. Sega Genesis came out in Japan, I think 1988, but the American release was 1990. So basically what we're going towards is like home videos. We all used to go to the arcades and put, the arcade. But now it's like, why do you even go to the arcade? You start playing video games at your house, especially in 1994, PlayStation 2000, PlayStation 2, Xbox 2001. Okay, so those video games obviously took a big jump in technological everything, right?
Let's talk about NES, dude, when it came out. Because I remember my dad and my mom had just recently divorced, and it was like the first Christmas with my dad in Florence at my grandma's house. You know,
sounds like a happy memory, Bruce. Let's talk about it.
Even
mine did too. I know what you're saying.
Even in shitty circumstances, there can be some happy moments. Right?
I know.
But I remember Atari. Like Atari was the only in-home gaming system, right? So talking about the Atari was like the only in-home entertainment, like
that was okay. Right? Well, there was a Commodore before that. My uncle had one of those.
Yeah, but that was like very niche. Like
you have to be knowledgeable of computers. As technology progresses, you don't have to have as much knowledge.
The Atari was a simple hookup on Christmas Day that you could do in like 10 minutes, right? A coax cable and. You were ready to go, man, and turned to like some weird channel.
Is coax the one with the needle?
It's got the copper needle.
Yeah, what happened to that? What happened to that?
We got HDMI.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? We got Bluetooth, everything, so it's basically done. But anyway, I remember my cousin Matt had him and his brother Chris had an Atari, dude, and it had like simple games, Pong, but it was still like that was something, right?
Yeah.
And that was like the apex of like home gaming entertainment. And so I remember Atari one Christmas had a special. You can buy the Atari and 50 games for $50. And I remember told my dad, I was like, dude, I want the Atari with 50 games. 50, but that's all I want for Christmas. And my dad's like, all right. And so I wake up Christmas morning and he got me a Nintendo. And I was pissed, dude. Wow. So I'm like, what the fuck? I had no clue what the Nintendo was. But that package came with Super Mario Brothers and Metroid. Yeah, it was like
Duck Hunt.
It wasn't. No, there was a duel that had Duck Hunt with the gun and Mario Brothers.
But either way, you got the better end of the deal.
Dude, I got the better end of the deal. I got Super Mario Brothers and Metroid. And dude, I was like so disappointed that it wasn't an Atari because I didn't know any better. And then so we hook up in the back bedroom, the Nintendo, bro, and start playing Super Mario Brothers. And just addicted. Addicted. Did you ever hear this? Did you ever wake up to the Super Mario Brothers theme music playing in the living room? Like you would hear it because you were so obsessed with the game. And I would wake up a Saturday morning and be like, is my dad playing? I'd run in, TV's off, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like so ingrained in my freaking mind, dude. I'm waking up to the sound of like that's how
Pavlovian response, Pavlov's dog. Right, it's like you hear it.
Yeah, and you start salivating. I wake up like drooling, dude. Like wake up like semen covered sheet or whatever. But that guy's like, no, why you come in your sheets? And like, what I make you?
Yes, I had the one to dream, huh?
I'm a plumber, not a cleaner. Why you do that? But anyway, playing Super Mario Brothers for years, and then Metro. I remember playing Metro at your house, trying to get to that final stage.
So frustrating, so damn
frustrating,
hard,
dude. So hard. The hardest Nintendo game ever, in my opinion, was Rambo. Did you ever play that one?
No,
dude.
But I'll do you one better.
All right.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
That.
Fuck Ghosts and Goblins.
There's no way you can beat Ghosts and Goblins without a game genie. I want to find him and just strangle him.
It's not even playing on Nintendo. You know how many coins I wasted at the arcade?
Well, the arcade version was different than the Nintendo version, but either way, it was hard as shit. You can't beat it like...
I don't think I ever got past the second round.
No, hell no, you
didn't.
Dude. Because I had the NES Classic, which you can kind of cheat. Like if you make a mistake, you can kind of like save it and go back. But I barely could beat it as an adult, much less like a 7-year-old, man. Like either way. But do you have anything else to say about that? I'm sorry. The Ghosts and Goblins, Nintendo, that whole thing.
All right. So we get addicted, and then we had like the Nintendo Sega Wars, right? Like all the cool kids had Sega. I thought I was a loser because I had Nintendo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 1990 is SNES, Super Nintendo, and Sega.
But Sega, not Sega
16-bit.
Genesis. Sega Genesis came out with it as like Super Nintendo, right?
That was the competing thing. And here's the thing. There's also TurboGrafx 16, which very few kids had. Shout out to my man Clayton Sanders, who's like a 5-star chef in Charlotte right now, one of my best friends when we were kids. He had the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, dude, you were
the only kid I knew that had it. And it was like Bonk the Caveman. And there was a couple weird games. I was like, how did you get a TurboGrafx 16,
What was like the Friday the 13th game where you put on the mask? It was like Slaughterhouse. You remember that one?
That was like a Sega CD or something.
I could be wrong. It was originally a TurboGrafx, man, but anyway.
I don't know.
You find it was almost like a Friday the 13th.
TurboGrafx was like few and far between. Every kid I knew had a Nintendo.
Everybody had a Nintendo.
Most had a Super Nintendo. I never had a Super Nintendo.
The Rebel kids had Sega.
I was the Rebel kid then.
You had a Sega? You didn't have Nintendo. You had Sega
I had
first?
Sega Genesis. Yeah. But do you remember like the Neo Geo?
Neo Geo,
dude. I knew
Echo, the
new
Dolphin,
kid
dude.
that had the Neo Geo, but yeah,
I could afford, or like what was it, like King of the Monsters?
yeah, King of the Monsters,
Dude,
yeah,
so good. And there was
Never
always that local like game shop that you could go to, and the dude had like every system in there, and he would always have like.
But is that something recent, or was that back in the day? That wasn't back in the day.
That was back in like the early middle school days, so like
Really?
early '90s, yeah, dude.
All
Late
right.
'80s, early '90s. You had like the Neo Geo and stuff like that. But
Okay.
But I remember the arcade was my Saturday go-to, man.
Oh, yeah.
Columbiana Center,
Yeah.
or Columbiana Mall.
Even up to high school, we were still going. Me and my friends Brad Jones, shout out to Brad, going to play like Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. I don't even remember Killer Instinct.
Oh yeah,
dude.
combo, like super combo.
Yeah.
Like,
And then fatality.
well, Street Fighter 2 was the original.
Let me give a quick shout out, and you probably remember this, but there was a guy that owned a Substation 2 in Lexington. His name was Mike. I don't know if he was a pastor, he's a youth pastor.
Well,
I don't even remember his last name, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And
Every
he
Wednesday?
would have a Bible study on Wednesday nights in Lexington. And all my crazy punk rocker, hardcore,
Just go there and get free
degenerate
sandwiches
friends and all these like, cute girls that we were friends with would all come in there and we would listen to him preach the word of God for like an hour. And the thing was, he would give us a free sub afterwards. So we're like,
And then
heck yeah,
you
let's
could
do
play
it.
Mars Attacks
What-
pinball or Area 51 or something.
we had to
like-
pay for that ourselves.
okay, never mind.
But like he did have Killer Instinct in there, which that's what made me think about
Yeah.
it. But man, I was like thinking about it like recently. I'm like, God, that was so cool, man.
Yeah.
Like just turning kids on to the Word of God, it just through like, hey, I'll give you a free sub if you come in on Wednesday nights. He didn't have to do that. He spent it out of his own money,
yeah.
man. He owned the place, like, and not to mention he had Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, standalone cabinet arcades in his spot. So me and Brad were like, heck yeah, we're going, dude.
And
Free sub.
He might get one kid a year out of the 300 that come in on Wednesday night for the free
Yeah.
sub, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also for him, it's a tax write-off. That's how he got rid
Maybe
of all
so.
of his like extra inventory. too. Like,
Maybe so. I mean, I really doubt it. Just remembering the
he
guy.
seemed like a really good dude.
I don't know. Somebody told me he passed away. I'm not sure. Mike, if you're out there, we love you, buddy. I don't know, man, but that was so cool and
longer
informative,
there, yeah.
man. Like just to have like an adult that was so cool to like us
Yeah.
fuck ups, like we're like baggy
I
pants, we're
remember,
like
like,
wallet chains,
oh,
and
dude,
like
man.
listening to like
Independent
heavy
shirts.
metal and shit.
Listen to Blink 182, dude. Fucking
That's the
Silver
Tame
Chair, dude.
Man's-
Oh my god, bro. Dude.
Silver Chair.
What?
This
Yeah.
was like more like Earth Crisis and
Oh, shit,
Like
you're good
this is
with
like
me,
the
man.
Victory Records like
Pennywise
hardcore.
and fucking NoFX and
Yeah, like Fat Record stuff.
Bad
and,
Religion, dude, all the good stuff.
Sumerian bands. Oh, shout out to Greg. Greg was on Sumerian record label.
Nice.
That's fucking killer, man.
back in the day. Greg knows this too, man.
In Full of Darkness?
Roadrunner Records was all the.
Remember
heavy metal.
Roadrunner?
Roadrunner
Yeah.
was the.
Hey,
the
dude, you know
shit.
Stretch Armstrong? Do you remember them? They're from here. Do you know that? Yeah. That's our boys right there, dude. Shout out to Stretch.
Stretch
Love
was the
fucking
original
Stretch, man.
badass fucking. I remember Ben Defani got me into was it Zayo? This kind of Christian metal band, dude. And they were,
Heavy
I think
shit.
it changed a lot over the years, man. But the first time I saw them at New Brooklyn, dude, I was blown away. I was like, oh my, no, weren't they like a 3-piece or something? Starting off like,
Have you heard the singer's other band?
what's that?
Circus Survive?
No,
Circus
Same
Survive?
singer.
Really?
Zayo's heavy.
well, the original
Okay.
Zayo I saw, dude, just blew my mind, dude. But it was always
Yeah.
fun to see somebody that come through New Brooklyn, dude. Just
Yeah,
like,
man.
like make you go, holy shit, dude, this is like a legit.
Rockefeller
metal band.
Senseless Beauty. Do you remember that
Rockefeller-
club?
no,
That's when I first saw
Senseless
Stretch
Beauty.
Armstrong. They were a killer, man. Shout out to the Stretch Armstrong boys, Jeremy and Chris and Dave Cease and everybody. But like, I love like Stretch Armstrong was the original like. You had somebody sing like this. Did somebody sing like this?
Yeah.
Like he's just like yelling is so good. He's got that vocal distortion, but it's like we were more than just a song. We were more than just a song. Like just
It's always
yelling.
the backup scream to
Yeah,
everything he says.
but it's like so freaking
Yeah.
heavy, man. Like
Yeah,
through middle
Stretch-
school for high
Stretch
school,
crushed it, dude, for us.
and they were so fucking nice, man. That's kind of like I will say about our South Carolina just rock stars and people
Band
that we
culture.
know.
Yeah.
Dude, they're all so fucking nice.
It's the South,
like I
dude.
remember like going up to the first Stretch Armstrong show I went to. I was probably like in ninth grade.
Yeah.
And some hardcore kid like picked me up because I was like puny and small and like slung me around. And I think I hit David Cease in the face. And I hit him, and he was playing guitar, and at the time he had dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And I was like just mortified, dude, because he was like my hero. And I went up to him after the show. I'm like, hey, man, like, I'm really sorry I hit you in the face. Like, that dude picked me up. He was like, oh, you're good, bro. He's like, man, as long as you kids are having a good time, I don't give a shit. You can come punch me in the face. And I was like, wow. That dude is so fucking cool. You know what I mean?
And then he went on to teach history at high school or something.
I know, man. And that's how it is with John Cease from Self, one of the greatest punk rock bands of all time.
Self,
I love Self. And also Eddie from Crossfade and like the Crossfade guys, like the nicest dudes of all time.
Eddie's literally the nicest dude I've ever met.
Dude, nice guy of all time. Mitch, and I mean, like, you meet those guys and you're like, oh man, these are some giant rock stars, and they're just so fucking cool, man. And same way with Hootie and the Blowfish. I don't know Darius, but I know Sony and Mark a little bit, and like, man, they're so fucking cool, man. Like, that's really what it is. Like, I guess it probably just takes that to appeal to people, to have that kind of like attraction a little bit, man. You just got to be a cool motherfucker, man, because those guys really are. So shout out, my friends. Good stuff.
Well, I think it's also still like shouting back to the era we grew up in, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, dude, I'm a little surprised to see a lot on Facebook lately, man. Like this grunge rock is coming back, dude. I don't know why my algorithm has been picking it up, dude. But it's like Deftones, Chevelle sounding bands, man. Alice in Chains, Nirvana. Like, everybody's kind of going back to that root. And me and you used to talk about that a lot, dude. I'm like, dude, I think rock will make that hard rock, that grunge, that heavy metal, dude, that good shit, bro, that has that fucking soul, that groove. I think it's going to come back. And I think it's coming back in a big way because the corporate aspect of it just fucking diluted everything for so long, man. It just took all the... You know, you're either going to be hated or loved, right? And in music, if you're doing something important, dude. And I think everything just became like iHeartRadio nonsense. It just became just good enough not to turn the station and just terrible enough that you don't give a fuck about it. Like, you know what I mean? And so what we're getting back to now, man, the kids are just, they don't give a shit, dude. They're going to fucking jam out and they're going to play some good stuff. They're getting back to the three-piece instrumentals. You got a bass, a singer that plays guitar, and a badass drummer, and that's fucking it, dude. And they're just writing shit, and they're listening. And it's funny too, man, because like my 16-year-old dude, my 11-year-old, they're listening to like Soundgarden and Nirvana. I mean, they still listen to like the Taylor Swift and all the fucking bullshit. That's like, you know, that I don't care for.
I wouldn't say Taylor Swift's bullshit, sir. I'll push back on that a little bit.
She's not. The shit sounds good. Even like, I can appreciate it. Sounds great, right?
Right.
It's not something I'm jamming out in my fucking,
that's okay.
in my daily life.
Yeah.
But aside from Taylor Swift,
the
infinite amount of nonsense that's out there that's just corporate regurgitated fucking. It's like, let's just find the purest algorithm of what we can, that people will fucking just keep listening. It's just, it has no soul, it has no heart. It's all overproduced, you know what I'm saying? And then you get back to the guys that are like, hey, we're going back to the garage band days. And that's what we really need, because AI is like coming with a vengeance, right? It's coming on like full force, dude. Producers are using it. Corporations are using AI to like really market, to fucking figure out like, what do people really like? And these kids are like figuring out like, oh, people just really like organic grassroots shit. They want real heart and fucking soul behind the shit. They want a real person playing it. Not all this auto-tune shit, not all the fucking electronics and all the digital. They want just a three-piece band playing at a fucking state fair. You know what I mean? With some originals that brings you back to like, oh shit, that was when rock and shit was good in the 90s, late 90s, when they were really hemming it up, dude, doing a great thing.
Right.
And we were invested in the shit. Like legit, like we would travel to go see. Like, you're not traveling to go see this corporate entity that's just like pumping in. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, people travel to see bands all the time that are huge, but I will say, like, the students that I teach guitar, bass, drums to keyboards, they're like, yeah, do you know any Nirvana? I'm like, actually, I know every single Nirvana song. Yeah. Or they're like, do you know any Soundgarden? Do you know any Linkin Park? Do you know any Korn? I'm like, or, you know, Slipknot,
the
whatever.
Last of the greats.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, glad you, and I don't push it on them, man. That's what they want to learn. Do you know any Red Hot Chili Peppers? And I'm like, oh, that's great. I'd love to teach you that. But, you know, there's cool shit. There's cool people in every generation, man. I mean, there's so many badass motherfuckers out there.
There's cool shit that, you know, during the 2000s, man, like, late 2000, I mean, we're at 26 now. So for the last decade, I think there has, and this is like not just music, this is like full entertainment, right? There's been this big corporate push to like push a message or a narrative over like real fucking shit that people actually want to hear or see. You know what I mean? Like, you got away from musical development, lyrics, fucking storytelling, character development, right? All like you just take
these kids these days, what
they don't know what the fuck they're listening to. God damn it!
We sound so old. I know.
But,
We're
no, I
like,
mean,
these kids, get off
the-
my lawn, kids.
When's the last rock? Oh, actually, I'm that guy, dude. I see a kid like playing with a soccer ball and like on the street in front of my yard. I'm like, just let it get down in my fucking yard, dude. I'll pop that son of a bitch.
You're at a Turnstile.
What's that?
They're fucking sick. There's a bunch of bands. Me and Greg were listening to a bunch of weird ass bands you just turned me on to. If you're looking for like just insane talent, like they're out there.
Yeah.
And another thing we're talking about is like there is no mainstream, and this is
The
like
mainstream's
words out of
over,
the man Greg Vance's mouth right there. I'm kind of quoting him right here, but there is no mainstream anymore because there's no radio anymore, and it's like just the internet. So you just find whatever algorithm you're into.
Maybe
you know
that's
what I mean?
Maybe that's what I'm missing. Is
Yeah,
like,
we need to turn you on to some cool shit,
Well-
man. Some of these kids are doing amazing fucking things, but a lot of it is a throwback to the era where we came up, 90s, and it's bass, drums, guitar. And I personally love digital. I love turntables. I love drum machines. I love all that shit. I love, Linkin Park, Korn. Like, new metal is my shit.
I
Like,
love
all
new
that
metal. I
stuff.
love new metal. And,
Yeah.
and like, dude, you put me on fucking, 9 Inch Nails and shit. I'm there to fucking Depeche.
Love
Like,
Inch
I'm
Nails.
fucking
Love-
checking out the
yeah.
electronic.
Love
you know
all
what I'm
that
saying?
stuff.
But and what I think, and maybe where I'm coming from too, is that maybe I am that guy. Like, remember how your granddad just only watches MASH reruns? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that guy now. Like,
depressing.
I'm only watching. You know what I was talking?
MASH is whack,
Dude,
dude. My dad used
check
to always
this out.
watch MASH.
Fuck old MASH. But check this out. Let's do a MASH reboot.
Oh, God.
Based off of the current Middle East, like from the former Middle East, like Afghanistan and Iraq, dude.
I'm
A
not
new MASH
excited
series
about
and
it at all.
Anyway, I've talked to some people that are ready to fucking invest in it. But anyway, no, I'm
Let's
just
not
kidding.
do the MASH reboot. Let's not do the MASH reboot,
Dude,
dude.
a MASH reboot series on Netflix or Hulu with a current fucking theme of fucking Iraq and Afghanistan, dude.
I don't think
I think it'd take. I think people would fucking watch the shit out. But anyway,
I don't know.
We can't agree.
Well, it's okay. But I guess, okay, so let's jump forward and kind of wrapping this whole thing up because we're talking about AI and we're talking about how the 80s and 90s movies kind of shaped us. And it's kind of sad that kids don't have that these days, but like kids still love those old movies. And
They
like
do.
my niece Haven, she's 26 now, and her favorite thing is the 80s and 90s. And we'll
Yep.
talk about stuff. And she likes to hunt down like old T-shirts of like the original Goonies shirt that came out in 1986 or something like that. And like she'll find it in thrift stores, and that's like kind of her thing. And that's like a whole cultural thing. It's the equivalent of like me and you being like, yeah, man, we love the Doors. Like
Yeah.
Jim Morrison was dead before
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
born, and
Led
Hendrix,
Zeppelin broke
yeah,
so
Led
bad,
Zeppelin
yeah.
broke up,
Yep.
and John Bonham had died, and
which
they
is a
split
good
before
thing,
that.
man, to like have that respect for the guys that came before that did it, right? Like we could still love
Yeah.
Motley Crue in our era when we were growing, like Stryper, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses. But we also were like, when we started getting older, though, we kind of started running out of steam on those guys.
What if your first introduction to Motley Crue was like modern, like drunk, fat Vince Steele?
That's-
You know, like
What's
what?
up?
Yeah, what up? Like
What's up?
the shit that you sent me with, it's like the subtitles of what it says is so
It's
fucking
like,
hilarious,
"Kaboom,
man.
gonna wash my shirt.
Yeah,
Take it down.
and God bless Vince Neil. I love him to death. I
He's,
love
he's
Motley
one of the
Crue.
greatest lyrics of all, like 80s fucking lyrics of all. But
Yeah,
he's
great.
just too old.
But
God
there's
damn,
drunk.
the
No,
heart
it's not
fucking
too old. Is the drunken, like bloated
The voice is gone, yeah.
that there's a he could get it back, but just those videos are fucking hilarious. But the thing
Anyway.
about AI is though, and this is like a whole nother podcast.
This is the next one, yeah.
Eventually, you will be able. Everybody will be able to create their own movie, similar to how everybody posts online. You are your own author. You are your own producer, so to speak.
You create your own universes, dude.
Dude, pretty soon how Facebook is like, you're just comparing your posts to your friends. Pretty soon it's like, hey man, I made this movie this week. You made this movie this week from AI. Let's
And we
compare
start
it.
sharing with each other.
There is no more movie producers because it's like, well, I'm going to make Goonies too. I'm going to make
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm
And
going to
me
make
and
the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton with Michelle Pfeiffer movie 3.
Yeah.
That should have
That
been.
should have
There
been.
should have
Yeah,
never.
yeah.
And I love Val
That close-
Kilmer.
yeah, yeah.
I love George Clooney.
But they should never have been.
Michael Keaton
No,
should have been in
yeah,
Batman
yeah.
3.
Forever,
It should
forever,
have had
yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and they
Yep.
should have hooked up.
Yep.
There's so many things, and like anything that you wanted to see that never happened
Yep.
will happen
can
with
make it,
AI.
that's right.
You're gonna make it happen, man.
Dude,
you know?
and on that note, like, have you seen the AI generated Luke Skywalker making his lightsaber? Like,
No.
dude.
But I
gotta
mean, I
send it
saw
to
The
you.
Mandalorian where it was like young Mark Hamill.
No, dude, this
That's
is
deep fake type shit.
This is between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It's legit, dude. It looks so fucking good. It's Mark Hamill he goes to a planet with R2 to find the Kyber crystal. and he goes through this whole process of making the green lightsaber. Remember, Vader's like, dude, I've seen that you've constructed your own lightsaber, right?
Right.
It shows Mark Hamill going into this ancient temple, finding this kyber crystal in the Force and shit, and he has to pass a test, and it actually turns green according. And it's so fucking, and it's Mark Hamill talking perfectly, dude. It's so good.
You know what? Why it turns red? Like you have to bleed for it. The kyber crystal is apparently like a living entity, but a Sith lightsaber can only be taken from a Jedi, and you murder the Jedi, like you have to bleed for that red color. Exactly, it's evil. So that's why it's like a red color from the kyber crystal. But like the fans always do the best work.
They do.
Like the $1 million companies, like they always get it wrong. We talked about this a little bit. If you're a true fan, you're like, why the fuck did they do that? Some kind of political influence, economical influence. But if it's just a fan doing the work, fans always do the best work.
They do the best work.
You know what I mean? That's what it's going to come to with the AI thing.
Because they have the most love for it, dude. They're not looking for a paycheck, dude. When you have a fan making shit on his own, he doesn't care about a paycheck. It's his passion, dude.
Right.
You should hire that motherfucker immediately. And that's what happened. But what's funny is even Mike T today, we were talking, dude. He's like, yeah, I heard Kathleen Kennedy's out at Star Wars. And I'm like, how the fuck do you even know about
He doesn't even know about it.
He could care less, but he was like, it's enough in the news for Mike to pick up.
Mike, we got to get Mike T in here for a podcast. He's like the Three Amigo.
Oh yeah, we'll have a three. That's what we need to do is a Three Amigo podcast.
Yeah,
You and Mike T talking about some shit. Might be a little bit more serious than that. Well, we get a little.
Whatever.
We talk some sports.
Another best friend from back in the day, but he's kind of like the sensible one of me and you. We're just kind of like the off the wall, but we always reference Mike T.
We got left,
Mike
right,
T.
and middle, and we all kind of change places in it.
But even he is like Kathleen Kennedy's out of the Yeah, I know.
Which is a good thing, but we'll see what Dave Filoni's going to do. It's probably going to be more of the same bullshit.
Star Wars is dead.
Should have given it over to Jon Favreau. Let him roll with it. Yeah,
oh, I know.
We'll see.
Love Jon Favreau.
I've written off Disney MCU. I'll probably will. I still haven't watched Fantastic Four yet.
It's pretty good.
I've heard it's all right. I mean, it's free. I'll probably check it out on the 85-inch with the surround sound with the kids just to see.
One thing you got to realize is there is pivotal values and pivotal respective choices, and just because you don't like something doesn't mean that a lot of people will like it or won't like it or whatever just because you don't agree with it. You know what I mean? I know we kind of have to balance that out sometimes because here's the thing. My wife loved the new Fantastic Four movie. I thought it was okay. But I'm like, okay.
A Fantastic Four comic book.
No, but that's the point. Like, they're not going for that audience. I mean, they are a little.
That's why it's a flop.
That's minuscule compared to the dude. If you can get the world to a Fantastic Four movie, then we have a business here. I don't care if they read a comic or not.
But guess what? They didn't. It's a flop. So was Captain America 4 is a flop or 3.
Yeah, but 1989 Batman. Nobody read Batman comics, and everybody liked Batman, dude. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I have to disagree on that. The reason Fantastic Four flopped, it may be a fine film, right? Mm-hmm. When you stray away from what made the Fantastic, comic book movies didn't get popular because some movie studio was like, hey, here's some already pre-written shit and everybody will love it if we just put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
It got popular because of fans like me and you that read the shit for fucking years, dude.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? We won't, why did Deadpool and Wolverine make $1 billion? Because it gave us fan service, dude. It showed us,
agree.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Why did the first Avengers do so well? It was taken straight from the Ultimates comic book. No, Joss, what's his name, Whedon or whatever. Whedon, he didn't put I'm gonna put my own spin on. I'm gonna Bryan Singer took Superman and just crapped all over it. And the X-Men was I'm gonna make it my own thing. Terrible. James Gunn took Superman, said I'm gonna make it my own thing. Terrible. Even Zack Snyder, I'm gonna make it my own thing. Terrible. When people stay true to the source material as much as they can,
I know what you're saying.
You're giving the fans that made that property.
But Bruce, check this out real quick, okay? Everybody's brain is different. Staying true to the source material could mean something different from every single human being that's ever lived. So Zack Snyder maybe thought he was staying true.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, wait a minute. Was he?
For which ones? You're talking Bryan Singer, Superman.
Well, both of them. All right. Any of them. Let's talk about
you're talking Man of
Steel.
Steel. I'm sorry, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, Bryan Singer, Superman Returns, and James Gunn, I'm a fucking crybaby. None of them stay true to the
This is the part
Superman
where our
look.
wives come out on the porch and you're like, you guys are fucking nerds.
It's we all go to fucking bed, all right? And I'm put another fucking log on the fire. We got some shit to fucking hammer out here, dude. All right. No. All right. So we can get into this the next one because we really got to hash it
okay.
out about Superman. But what I'm saying is the reason they're flopping is because they tried to reach a very particular audience. And that audience wasn't reading the comic books for the last 2 decades.
Or maybe they're trying to be too general and not niche enough.
That's the problem.
I think
you got to be niche to the comic book. Look, all right. So if you make it true to the source material, you're going to capture all the original fans, and you're going to reach a shit ton of other people that just want to see a badass.
They don't want to read a comic book.
That's right. They just want to see the shit. Look, and the
comics
reason
for nerds, comics for little kids. Well, guess what? Half the shit you see on TV came from a comic book or movie.
Pretty much.
There you go.
But anyway,
turns out we're not nerds. We're just trendsetters, motherfucker.
We're actually the fucking head of the fucking culture.
Nerds rule the world.
Well, some nerds.
Everybody that rules the world is a fucking nerd for sure.
Like Dave Fauci, Fauci and Bill Gates kind of suck. And they're nerds enough.
I mean, I'm not talking about the traditional nerds. Like,
you're talking about the entertainment nerds.
I'm just talking about nerds in general. People that just like are into nerdy shit, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or like reading Game of Thrones novels or Spider-Man or whatever. You're just deep into some like fictional shit. Like your jock friends are gonna call you a fucking nerd, and you are.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be both. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem is that the nerds have taken over, and that's the problem. The jocks need to get the pecking order back. Yeah, there's a pecking order, dude. Like. Make bullying great again to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but here's the thing, too. The Renaissance man, which is what something my guitar teacher, Robert Newton, talked to me about. Well, actually, he didn't tell me about it. He just taught me about because he was this buff, big black dude. Like, I loved him to death, and I was kind of intimidated by him. Musical genius, very well-read, knew about, science fiction, knew about, comic books. But he also
knew about what?
Everything
else, right?
You can be a Renaissance man. Here's the thing, most of the big buff dudes that would probably dunk people's heads in the toilet and give them flushy, what do you call that? Swirly? They probably have read The Watchmen nowadays.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? They could probably play guitar better than me.
When I was in high
it's a Renaissance man nowadays. That's the new thing, man. There is no bully and nerd. It's they're kind of combined into the same
you're
person.
Right about that.
This studies, BJJ and
The BJJ guys love Star Wars, and I'll tell you that's a good point. The Renaissance man is when I was in high school, you were shamed for liking Star Wars.
Right.
In the Marine Corps, we all love Star Wars.
Right, yeah.
Because it's almost like we became men, and we're kind of dropping the ego a little bit. We're still tough and tumble, want to fuck each other up. We're just fuck you. But they're you like Star Wars too? All right, let's go fucking watch the new Star Wars. And also you're bonding with people that you have to live with 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So you're a lot more open. You can be yourself a lot more than at high school where
it kind of makes me mad when my friend Brooks Herring is that I stay with in Nashville. I'll play with him sometimes because he is fucking jacked, dude. He's got a mohawk, he's got a beard, he's a military guy, he's always got a Glock on him. He can sing his ass off, he can play his ass off, and he's doing all these songwriter things, and he invites me on some of it, but I'm just wait a minute, I thought you were super talented or super tough and muscular,
you can
you're
be both?
What? Fuck you, motherfucker. But that's how it is. I mean, some bands like Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold, he's jacked, dude. I mean, you got to kind of break down the stereotypes of nerd and bully because sometimes it's just the Renaissance man that's just very focused and very disciplined and it's just do it all.
We do. We keep each other in check, though. But I do think that the resurgence of the Renaissance man is here, and it's a good thing, right? Yeah. So you're capable of living on your own, off the grid for a week, but you also love reading some fucking reading the Dune series or something. You know what I mean? And then having a little philosophy, and you read the Stoicisms of Marcus Aurelius or something. You know what I'm saying? And then you can fucking you guys ever see this? You can kind of geek out a little bit, whatever. So
here's another theory too. Is every successful person kind of a nerd in some degree? You even talk about
hyper successful outside of sports.
Well, anything anybody who's kind of jacked, probably has a baseball card collection, or talking about Joe Rogan. He played World of Warcraft to the point where he had to cancel it because he was into it so hard it was taking over his life. I mean, I think nerdism is just kind of a rampant thing. It's not a bad thing. That's why I say my favorite people are nerds. But it just means that people that are really into things and get so excited about things, because I like to be excited about things and I like to hang out with people that are excited about different things and talk to them about it. So it could be have you seen the new Star Wars? Or it's have you read on Lord of the Rings? Or check out these Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering? Or, I mean, really, when you follow Major League Football, that's kind of nerdy too. You're watching a bunch of fresh out of high school, college kids run them down a turf field, throwing a pigskin. It's kind of nerdy. You yourself are not playing football. You're just watching others do it.
Now we're getting too inclusive with the word nerd. You know?
Well, I know, but that's kind of like watching, like, I just saw Luke Skywalker go on a story arc and, like, you know, go on this big journey and come home the returning hero. It's kind of similar in respect.
I think nerd leadership and jock leadership is also cyclical. Like, I think there'll be a time where, like, the nerd renaissance, man, like, right now we are, like, this weird, like, we're in a cool coalition between, like, the nerdy jock guy that, you know, kind of makes it work, right, and it's cool. Like, comic books are cool now, you know, but you know what? They fucked it up because they got too corporatized, and they ruined the fucking story of it. They ruined the characterization of it. They ruined the real fucking essence of it, right? And now everybody's like, fuck this. So, and, like, we're done with zombies. We're done, like, we went through the vampire run. We went through the zombie run, right? We're going through the superhero run. So what are we going to next, right? Might go back to this hyper, like, masculine, like, sports type shit, right? Like something a little different.
I love sports movies, by the way.
Oh, they're always good, like, heartfelt and stuff, you know? But maybe, like, we'll go back to, like, the war. Like, when's the last time a good war movie came out? I saw, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, man. Back in, like, 2000, maybe, like, 2013, when we had a record deal, and I was, like, trying to get buff and shit, man. I had this personal trainer named Lee. Shout out to Lee. Yeah. And he was jacked,
and you were working out all the time,
He was
dude.
fucking jacked,
And you had, like, a six-pack, too, though, man. You were
I don't know about that, but I was bigger than I've ever been.
Big as fuck, dude. You're
I don't know about
ripped.
that.
You were just, you know what it was? You were fucking pale. That's why you couldn't realize, like, if you put on some tanner, dude, you would have looked like, you could have.
Like the bodybuilders do. I don't know about that, but the thing is, but I was jacked I've ever been, man. I was hanging out with this dude, Lee. Turns out he was a fucking nerd, dude. He collected Transformers action figures, man. And me and him bonded over that because I love toys. I love pop culture statues and shit. And I was like, wow, like, even this guy, like, he's fucking jacked, but he collects, like, action figures, which is society puts that way down on the totem pole in terms of, like,
maybe that's what drove him to get jacked, was being a nerd and, like, people picking on him in high school.
I don't know.
I think high school and middle school is, like, a really
That's a
weird
theory,
time. You know what I'm saying?
or here's another theory: is secretly everybody a fucking nerd in some respect.
To some respect, like,
everybody.
Everybody loves
Everybody's
a little nerdy
a fucking
shit.
nerd in
They're just
some
scared
respect.
to say it, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying. But the true nerds are like, yeah, I'm a fucking nerd.
But what's happened is nerd has become too pop culture, and it's lost its real fucking right. So, like, there was a specialness of, like, me and you were like closet nerds. Like, we were like, oh, dude, we might get jumped.
get beat up for liking
we
Star Wars.
I'm not wearing the Star Wars. I'm not wearing that X-wing shirt today. And I got to wear a structure shirt with 8 buttons on the fucking, you know.
Right.
But it's like, but back home, I go home and fucking like, yeah, see you later, guys. No, I'm not playing football today. Run aside and put Empire Strikes Back in and be like, I fucking love, oh my God. Reading a comic book, like eating food. It was just like the trifecta right here, you know. But,
I think there's room for both.
It's both, 100%. And I think as you get older, you get more comfortable with what you like and want to do. So, like, the nerdy shit comes out, and that's just going to happen. So we become less cool to our fucking kids. Because everything's about image to the teenagers, right? Like, and then when you get a certain age, you're married, you got a business, you're doing your own thing. You're like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like,
nerdiness pays off when you have kids because they're into it because the more childlike you can be, just the more fun and better life you'll have. So when somebody's like, yeah, I would agree with that. What are you talking about? I'm on Wall Street now. I've got to do this. But, like, meanwhile, you're, like, talking to your kid, like, hey, man, have you seen the new Star Wars? Like, yeah, it's great. Like, that's what they care about. Like, if you're a nerd, you're probably going to get along with your kid way better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to have a better relationship. But it all goes back full circle. I know we need to wrap this up. Talking about, once again, Ebony Fleming, a total nerd and a lover, and just nothing but total adoration and love and respect for her. And of course, you, buddy, because, you know, my best friends. And, like, you kind of taught me, and my big brother Chris taught me this, too, because I always felt like a closeted nerd. But, hey, man, let your freak flag fly. Let your nerdism fly, man, because it's something to be proud of. Fuck that. You think about things differently. You're a freak, you're an outcast, you're ostracized from society, you're a nerd. That probably means you're secretly pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and if you're going to be a weirdo, just fucking own it, dude.
There you go.
You know, that's it.
There you go.
All right, bro.
All right, you guys. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
Later.
See you next time.